Hi, everyone. This is Kimberly Miller, owner of Healing with Excellence and creator of Neuromuscular Restoration. I'm recording multiple videos about ailments that I see commonly misdiagnosed or mistreated by the allopathic model and then often by the functional medicine model. One of those most common things that is often diagnosed as incurable is POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I used to suffer from orthostatic hypotension. I had more bradycardia and I would have dizziness, feeling faint and fatigue. And when I would stand up, I would get dizzy and lightheaded, but my blood pressure would drop down and my pulse would drop. It would not go tachycardic. But many people are dealing with POTS where their heart rate's going into 130, 140, or they feel like they're going to pass out, or they actually do faint. And again, maybe chronic fatigue, joint issues, multiple things that seem to go hand in hand. And sadly, even the specialists in this area are making people feel as if they're permanently broken. And they only feel this way because nobody is looking at the root cause. So when I see someone as a Healing with Excellence practitioner and a neuromuscular specialist, I look at their entire intake, their whole lifestyle, their stress, their nutritional profile, their micronutrient deficiencies, their toxicities, and then neuromuscular dysfunction. So what happens is you have 11 organ systems attempting to maintain homeostasis each day. And there's multiple things happening in our environment, externally and internally, that do not allow us to maintain homeostasis effectively. And our body kind of misfires. Either we have a problem with our cardiovascular system, our nervous system, our GI tract, our reproductive system. Really, multiple areas can be impacted by these internal and external stressors. So I personally look at all of those stressors, teach people where they're losing energy ineffectively, or where they might be getting a toxicity to something or have a deficiency. And then once you fix those root causes, the body's pretty amazing at going back to maintaining homeostasis. I have personally not had orthostatic hypotension in more than 16 years, and I suffered with that for at least 3 years. And as I mentioned in my video about heart complications, I also dealt with bradycardia for years, kind of like angina and dull chest aches, neuropathy, chronic fatigue, swollen lymph nodes. That does not have to be your story. You just need a specialist that understands how to look at basic biology, neurology, and basically the stressors that attack us in life that we may not know are impacting our physical body. So for me, if I was looking at someone diagnosed with POTS, I would do a neuromuscular assessment and see if there's a muscle in their neck, their eyes, or their diaphragm that is overworking for other muscles in the body, impacting their arterial flow and or impacting the nerves, the neural communication to and from the brain to the muscles, to the heart, to the other organs. I would look at that first, and I would correct that miscommunication. It's very non-invasive, no painful studies, no EMGs, no stress tests, none of that stuff. It's just something where you're fully clothed. You do a manual muscle assessment like a physical therapist would, and you figure out which muscles are communicating effectively to the brain and which ones are not. Kind of like an electrician checking which breakers are blown. You look at that. Then you also look at the person's diet. Are they getting too few of calories, too little protein, too little minerals? Are they again getting a toxicity to a supplement? Or is there medication causing it? And then oftentimes there's some kind of mental stress or past trauma that they just need a little bit of help or a little awareness. We might need a specialist to help us in each of these areas on some level, but normally it's much simpler than what someone has been led to believe. So when someone looks at the whole picture, kind of like a general contractor putting the right person in the right place at the right time, the person can actually get the completed outcome that they're looking for versus going to specialists that are just doing piecework or what they would call in construction as punch out. So my job is to look at laying the foundation, to teach you how to lay the foundation. And if we need to pull in specialists, pull them in at the right time versus a specialist telling you that there's nothing that they could do and that you'll probably be disabled the rest of your life. I don't consider that a specialist. Most specialists are that we would call a specialist in modern medicine do not even address the root causes to how the body works. They're just chasing around symptoms and giving medications to manage those symptoms versus teaching you why the body was unable to maintain homeostasis in the first place. If you have any questions, thoughts, feedback, please post them in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and if there's any topics that you would like me to record more information on, please post them here. I will also link an article that I wrote about POTS. I'm praying that some of these resources will give you the answers that you need so that we can help end your suffering the same way that I was able to 15 years ago. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.